Hello and welcome to a special episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today I have a box here from Ploopy. Ploopy is a Canadian company that specializes in 3D printed open source hardware, and they made something called the Bean pointing stick, which I am very excited to try out. For those of you that know, track points are really nice, and if you love them a lot. TrackPoint keyboards are a rare breed. You usually are relegated to finding ones either produced by third-party companies or buying used stock. So when I found out that they had built essentially a TrackPoint module with buttons that you could use alongside of a regular keyboard, I was certainly intrigued. And I love the fact that they're a Canadian company. I think it's a pretty fairly priced product, open source, 3D printable, QMK via programmable. Everything about this is really cool. And the price for one of these fully assembled was, I think, 69 Canadian dollars. Let's go ahead and open up this box and see what they sent. I should specify before going any further, this isn't a sponsored video. I purchased this with my own money. So here we go. If you bought a kit, go to here on how to assemble it. So they have all the instructions online. Everything is available there. Thanks for supporting the shop. You're welcome. Here's the 3D print. And again, this is a 3D print, so don't expect like the same level of quality that you would expect from a lot of things, quite frankly. I would say that the print here is imperfect. We've got 4 Omron switches. They're D2LS 21s. And then you have your stick in the middle. Now, this stick, while it looks like a track point, doesn't function quite like a track point. And what I mean by that is it moves. So that's something that is worth noting. It's got some nice rubber feet, so you can easily put that on a desk, but I'm really interested in giving this a spin. But like I said, it's not using true track point tech. So let's plug this in. Yeah, this is definitely a different experience initially than using a track point because it physically moves. Scrolling is really smooth. All right, so let's do a little bit of navigating of their website with this thing. So it's able to detect touches as 3 microns small. So yeah, that checks out. 1000 hertz polling rate. And these pictures are a good indicator up close. Like, this is an imperfect product. Like, if you have a high fidelity 3D printer, you're probably going to be able to produce your own. And the nice part is that you can do that. Like, this is open source. If you wanted to build yourself a different case, then you could certainly do that, or if you could print a better one. So all the design files are available there, so you can kind of see how everything works on the inside. And yeah, it is using a magnetic sensor chip. Everything is there at your fingertips for you to know how to customize this thing if you so choose. So I'm looking forward to continuing to use this. All right, so we're going to take a look inside the Ploopy Bean. And to do so, we remove this single screw on the back, and we can pop open the case. Now, on the inside, we have the 3D printed chassis here with the board. And the board lifts up and out, and we can see how that is printed there. The rubber feet are stuck on. The bootloader is accessible by shorting those 2 pins when you plug it in. And then we have our Omron switches there. And this is the revision 1.001 with the Ploopy logo on the back. So that board sits comfortably in there. But the interesting piece is actually what's going on right there and right here. So this, as I alluded to, does not work like a standard track point. This essentially is kind of a thumb joystick, and it relies very specifically on this piece right here, which is a spring that's been 3D printed. And you can see how that kind of works when we remove it from the chassis, and it can move around. Let's get that on the other camera. There we go, a nice view of that. And that provides the tension in all the different directions. And then on the inside of this is actually a magnet. And it's really hard to see, but in there is the slot where the magnet goes, and it sits on the middle of that post, and then that post slides around this sensor here. We also have a bit of a quasi spring system going on here with these 3D printed bridges that allow the button to flex back into position, which is really, really cool. So the whole flex of the chassis is how those buttons force themselves back up on those Omron switches. The fact that you can 3D print pretty much all of the case parts makes this exceptionally cool and open source. So let's put this back together and let me talk to you about my experience using this thing. So the one thing I will say about the Ploopy Bean is I didn't expect to like this as much as I do. This is actually right now my default mouse on my desktop PC, and it took me a little while to get used to it, but I am very much a fan of this thing. So one of the things that did take me some time to get used to is I'm used to using a TrackPoint 1 that didn't move. So the fact that this actually moves around on that spring that we saw on the inside does change the overall feel of this, even though it looks the same. So that's a bit of a brain trick that I had to get over. The second thing is the position of these buttons is the greatest benefit and sometimes the greatest detractor. You can custom flash these with VIA and QMK. Out of the box, this is essentially your scroll button, and then this opens up the mouse 3 or middle click menu that usually gives you that scroll option as well. So you're usually using these two for some version of scrolling, and I do a lot of scrolling. And this thing makes it so easy just to tap this button and scroll with your thumb, and the precision is absolutely phenomenal. Now, I suspect the reason that they've designed these buttons this way is probably a patent issue. I'm not sure. You don't have the middle mouse down here splitting these two buttons. I found that even though I would normally reach with my thumb underneath of my index finger for the right mouse click, for reasons that I can't quite explain, it wasn't as comfortable as doing it on a TrackPoint keyboard. But I did get used to it in most circumstances. The left click is very, very easy, and very often I was actually using my middle mouse finger to do the scrolling, and sometimes that middle finger would come down to do the right click, and I was able to do that no problem. I've used this to actually game, which is not something that I expected to do. But I found it to be a great experience whether I was working in my video editing software, if I was working in Affinity, or if I was playing a first-person shooter, or even the Alabaster Dawn demo. This was actually really comfortable to use. It took me a second, and there was one major change that I made that made this thing, to me, a keeper. And that actually has to do with some of the history that I know about this guy right here. They ship this with the soft dome TrackPoint cap, or at least a copy of it. And this is an excellent TrackPoint cap, and it is the one that most people prefer on ThinkPads. However, I know the history behind the development of this, and if you want to hear it as well from David Hill, I'll leave a link up here for you to hear the full story. But this cap was designed for a post that doesn't move, and this post does move, and occasionally I found my finger slipping off the top because while this is grippy, again, it wasn't designed to move in this way. And because I am a bit of a ThinkPad fan, what I did is I pulled out all the TrackPoint caps that were made for the TrackPoint, and I tested them all to see which one provided the best experience. So I went back to an original reproduction of the essentially eraser head created by Sauto Tech. I had to do a bit of convincing years ago for him to make this, and he's like, "Are you sure? Because this cap kind of sucks." And it's like, no, I want the authentic cap. So I tried that. I tried the cat tongue, or the classic, and then I tried the golf tee as well. And through a series of tests, some scientific, some very subjective, the cat tongue cap is actually, in my opinion, the best for the Ploopy Bean. And that's too bad because I do not believe that anyone is currently manufacturing one of these. If you are getting one of these, it allows for a no slip experience and just dramatically improves, in my opinion, the overall usability of this thing. At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, I would say that if you are a TrackPoint fan or if you are looking for a new, easier experience to have a mouse on your desktop, give this a try. It's probably my favorite mouse now, next to the original Scroll Point. And if you don't know anything about the original Scroll Point, it's where they put a TrackPoint cap on top of a conventional mouse, and it allowed you to scroll horizontally and vertically. And this is amazing. And I kind of hope against hope perhaps, that Ploopy might take this and say, hey, we can put that in a mouse. And guys, if you do that, I'm buying it. It's just that simple. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, make sure you're leaving them down in the comments below. I'll leave a link if you want to buy one of these for yourself as well. Again, this isn't an official collaboration. I bought this with my own money, and I love it. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.